Aim, Hreem, Shreem, Shrimatre Namaha. The fourth nama in Lalithasahasranamam is Chidagnikunda Sambhota. This is also a 8-letter nama as per the Sanskrit literature. While if anyone would like to pray to Lalita Mata or bow to Lalita Mata, chant this particular nama, one should say it as Om Chidagnikunda Sambhutaayai namaha. Om Chidagnikunda Sambhutaayai namaha. Om Chidagnikunda Sambhutaayai namaha. Chit means the consciousness. Agnikundam, it means from the pot of fire. Sambhuta, who has manifested or incarnated. It is given that at a high level, if you see the meaning of Chidagnikunda Sambhuta, we are calling Lalita Mata as Chidagnikunda Sambhuta because she has been manifested or incarnated from the pot of fire, which is nothing but consciousness. The Chit, a pot of fire which is named as Chit, that means the consciousness. Let's see the deeper meaning of this particular nama astrologically, mythologically, astronomically. Chit, as I said, it means consciousness, or it can be movement, or when you wake up from the sleep. All these sort of conscious related characteristics. Chit means the consciousness or movement or waking up. All these examples are the characteristics of consciousness. When someone is conscious, we will do these activities. Chit itself indicates that consciousness or awakefulness. We know that there are 3 types of shaktis: Iccha Shakti, Kriya Shakti, Jnana Shakti. Iccha Shakti is also called as Sankalpa Shakti. That means it's the power of will, which is related to the heart. Sankalpa, it originates from the heart, right? When you have a strong determination, the determination comes from the heart. So this Iccha Shakti, which is called the power of will or willpower, it is related to the heart. And the second Shakti, which is Jnana Shakti, which is the power of knowledge, it is related to the head or intellect. The third one, Kriya Shakti, the Kriya, that means actions that you do, the power you get to perform the actions is related to the Karmendriyas, which is connected to your sense organs. Through these sense organs, you do all the actions. Because of that, the Kriya Shakti is related to the Karmendriyas or the sense organs. The energy that is generated by the coordination of all these 3 forces, Iccha, Jnana, and Kriya Shaktis, is called as Chit Shakti. This should be imagined as a Chit Bindu. If you take a triangular part, a triangle, and the 3 sides of the triangle are considered to be as the Iccha Shakti, Jnana Shakti, and Kriya Shakti. The centroid position, which is called Chit Bindu, is getting originated from the triangular glory, which is the coordination of all these 3 forces from these 3 sides, from where this Shakti is originated, is called as Chit Bindu. Take certain examples how this Chit Shakti is manifested. For example, from the atom to the universe. Even in an atom, this energy is there, or into this entire universe. We call it in Telugu, Anuvu Nundi Adityuni Daga. Aditya means to the solar system. From the atom level to this solar system level, whatever that energy it is manifested, the threefold manifestation of this Shakti is appeared from that atom level to that solar planetary level. Another one from the embryo, that means Pindandam Brahmandam, we call it as in Sanskrit. Pindandam means from the embryo stage to the entire universe, from the atom stage to the Aditya, that is from the Surya and thus all the planetary systems. So from one Brahmandam and the Pindandam, the threefold manifestation of this Chit Shakti, which is the coordination of the Iccha, Kriya, and Jnana Shakti, this occurs in various situations, in various contexts. That can be seen only through the practice of yoga, but not with the normal vision, what you generally have. Before this universe has been created, the one and one only soul, that is a supreme soul, before the creation of this universe, he was there as a single person or Shakti as Parabrahma. That supreme soul before the creation of this universe, who is one and the same, before the creation of the Srishti. That radiance, whatever it is there, before the creation of this universe, that itself is being considered as per the Sri Vidya that it is Goddess Lalita Mata's form of the radiance. There is only one God. We say that we have 34 lakhs of gods as per the mythological stories that we have, as per the Puranas, Vedas. However, all are existed or created or formed from one form, which is that supreme soul. That soul, that supreme soul is part of everybody in this entire universe, every living being. Paramatma is there in every Jivatma, in every soul, every living being in this universe. However, until unless that realization comes, no one will get to know that he is Parabrahma. That is the reason here it is being mentioned as per Sri Vidya, the form of the radiance that is there before the creation of this Srishti or the creation. That itself is Lalita Mata. As per the time or timeline that we have right now, space globe, we say that, Chotu Golam in Telugu, we call it as. That means this whole universe, which is in the form of a globe. Okay. If you consider that entire space of globe before the creation of that Srishti, the globe that it is getting manifested, which is in the context of time, that is an example of Chit Shakti. How the Chit Shakti is generated from the Chidagnikunda. And certain other examples, like, when the fire that it is getting manifested from the wood, you get the wood, you light it, and until unless that energy that comes in the form of fire, you'll not get the use of that wood. So that fire that it is getting manifested from the wood is also an example of that consciousness or chit shakti, which is that is born from that fire, from the wood with that fire. And for example, if you are inspired or you have certain thoughts in your mind, whatever we know at that stage, or what is that inspiration, that is also an example of chit shakti that is getting generated in various dimensions from that fire pot. Another example is that when you wake up from the sleep, that awakened condition, while you sleep, you doesn't know anything. But when you are getting up, that itself is Shakti, Chit Shakti, the awakened stage. You will get to know all what is happening in this materialistic world. Till when you are in sleep, you will not know anything because you are um, in the deep sleep stage. You're equivalent to the Parabrahma. He doesn't know anything. However, everything that organs that need to perform in your body that will be continuing. When you get up from the sleep, that awakened stage is also an example of Chit Shakti that is getting generated from that fire pot. And when the state of consciousness arises from the inertial state, any material that can be in an inertial state, it gets moved from that inertial state to the active state. That consciousness that is arising from the inertial state to the active state, that is also Chit Shakti. Another example, when you take a plant, if you'd like to grow that plant, take a seed and that you put it into the, you soil it, you put it into the soil and have water, sunlight, everything given. After taking all the energy, when the tree that emerges from that seed, that is also an example of Chit Shakti that it is getting generated from that fire of pot. When you thought that it is erased in your mind, that is also an example. When sun rises, these are all the examples of the Chit Shakti that is getting generated from the fire of pot or from that different situations, different conditions that has been explained as earlier. But however, these things can be visualized only with the practice of yoga. How the Chit Shakti is generated in various dimensions of that fire pot, but nothing but the Chidagnikundam, Kundam, the fire pot. We all know that we are existing. However, until unless you focus, you'll say that yeah, you exist. Me, I'm an example. Are you there? Yes, I exist. We know that we exist within ourselves. That knowledge, whatever it is there to help you to know that you are existing, that Iccha Shakti is also an example. It's just like a light bulb glowing out. This Chit Shakti is called a fire that is born without any fuel. See, for example, if you would like to get the fire from the wood, you have to give certain fuel to it, either ghee or any sort of the oil or some camphor to get lightened it. That means you are taking certain fuel for that. However, this consciousness that it is there for you from the sleep stage to the awakened stage, or anything that it is moving from the inertial state to the active state, or a tree that it is growing from a seed, or a thought that it is erased in your mind, all these conscious related things are, or the fire that it is getting generated or burned without any fuel, ఇంధనం లేకుండా వచ్చేటువంటి ఈ చిచ్చక్తి. This is the chichakti that it is getting. It's called as a fire that it is getting generated without help of any fuel. And take another example. When a piece of iron is magnetized, there is no difference in the state of that particular piece of iron. That means you take an iron and then you try to magnetize it. The size, length, width, color, everything remains same for that iron piece. However, the nature gets changed from a normal iron piece to the magnetized piece. And the same you apply to our human beings or any living being. It is same thing that it is when you are sleeping. A person, for example, I'm sleeping. When I'm sleeping and when I wake up, you are having that consciousness that you had woken up from that sleep, from a deep sleep. However, there is no change in the state of the person. I'll be the same person who has slept, and I'll be as looking as the same person when I woke up also. There is no change in my length, there is no change in my weight, there is no change in my color. Everything remains same. However, whatever the difference it is there in between those two states, when I'm in the sleep stage, when I woke up, that stage, when an iron is in the normal iron and when it is magnetized, we should understand that it is Chit Shakti. When I'm in a deep sleep, I don't have Chit Shakti. When I woke up, that consciousness that it is there, that is called Chit Shakti. When an iron, normally when it is there, it is just an iron piece. However, when it is magnetized by that time, it has certain energy to get attracted towards the iron or to pull the all iron pieces to. That means it's getting certain energy. That itself is called as the difference in between those two states. You should understand it is called as Chit Shakti. These many examples has been nicely given by the writer in this book. So in total, if you see at a higher level with these energy forms, whatever it has been described, Chidagnikunda Sambhuta we are calling as Lalita Mata because she is that Chit Shakti that it is getting generated or manifested or incarnated from that kundam, the fire of the part. And this Chit Shakti is all related to the consciousness, awakefulness, awareness, activeness, all related to the energies that it is there, or the coordination or um, the coordination of all these Iccha, Kriya, and jnana shakti, which is forming this Chit Shakti, is called as Lalita Mata. Because of that, we are calling her as Chidagnikunda Sambhuta. Now let's see what is the historical reference that is given. Why are we calling her here as Chidagnikunda Sambhuta? In the past, in the earlier yugas, like not in the Kali Yuga, before this Kali Yuga, a demon named Bandasura, he was creating a lot of troubles to the deities or all the living beings to this entire universe. At that time, all the gods, they were unable to bear the sufferings that were caused by this Bandasura, and they organized for a sacrifice, yajna. In response to that, they built a large pyre or a fire pot, which we said kundam, and offered all sort of dravyas, incenses, offered, they had given all sort of yajna dravyas, and they offered their own body parts also, because they would like to get rid of that Bandasura. Even they prepared to sacrifice themselves into that Agnikunda or the pyre, the large pyre that has been arranged. From that pyre or from that bonfire, Lalita Mata emerged with the divine radiance of which is the radiance equivalent to the crores of sun, and the coldness that she is having is not equivalent to the crores of moons. And she emerged from that Chidagnikundam and killed the demon Bandasura. Because of that, also we are calling Lalita Mata as Chidagnikunda Sambhutaayai Namaha, because she emerged or manifested from that Chidagnikunda in order to kill Bandasura and to please the deities or to help deities and to get them relieved from the sufferings caused by Bandasura. Because of that, we are calling her as Chidagnikunda Sambhutaayai Namaha. We are praying to Lalita Mata, who has emerged or manifested or incarnated from that Chidagnikunda. As per the yogic practice, as we said earlier also, that this chit shakti, whatever the chit shakti we said, right, we cannot see with the normal eyes. Like, when you wake up from the sleep, it's until unless you understand it very deep, and like from the deep sleep stage to the awakened stage, and a material move from that inertial stage to the active stage, or these things are the references to the chit shakti that can be visualized or should be visualized as Kundalini power, which is embodied in the Shushumnagni and located in Kulakundala, which harmonizes all the powers of Iccha, Jnana, Kriya Shakti within the yogic practitioner who is practicing yoga. Thus, in all the Upanishads, it is proposed that Lalita Mata is embodied in this universe. She is the Chit Shakti who is emerging from that Chidagnikunda. Tamagnivarnam tapasajvalantim vairojanim karmaphaleshu jushtam Durgam Devigam Sharanamam Prapadye Sutarasi Tarase Namaha. This is the way they had described Lalita Mata in all the Upanishads, that she is the person who emerged from this Brahman, from the Pindanda to this Brahmanda. She is a person who is that energy which is there in from the Pindanda to this entire Brahmanda. So only one Shakti, that is one Supreme Soul, who is there in all the forms in this entire universe. In total, if you see the meanings of this Chidagnikunda Sambhota, Chit is the energy that emanates from the pot of the fire called Chidagnikunda. Chit means consciousness, any movements, awakened state, etc. All the objects of consciousness are related to Chit. Iccha Shakti, the power of giving, is called it's Sankalpa Shakti. It's nothing but the Sankalpa Shakti. Iccha Shakti, Kriya Shakti, and Jnana Shakti are assumed to be in one of the Tribhujam within the with the sides, all the three sides. That energy produced in coordination of all these three Shakti, all these Shaktis, is Lalita Mata. The coordination of all these powers of Iccha, Kriya, and Jnana Shakti, that energy which is coming from the coordination or the power that it is generated from all the coordination of these Shaktis is Lalita Mata. Because of that, we are calling her as Chidagnikunda sambhutaayai namaha. The effulgence of Brahma that was there before the beginning of the creation, and the power that is there from atom to Aditya, or from embryo to Brahmanda, Pindanda to Brahmanda, Anuvu to Aditya. That power is called as Lalita Mata. Because of that, we are calling her as Chidagnikunda Sambhuta. The power that is there within us or any living being to express ourselves, that to know that you are existing, is also called as Chit Shakti. Because this Shakti is coming from us, because of that, we are calling her as Chidagnikunda Sambhuta. The power that arose from, say, that arose for killing Bandasura in order to protect Devatas. Because of that, we are calling her as Chidagnikunda Sambhuta. As per yogi practices, the power that is generated at Kula Kundala, because of that also we are calling her as Chidagnikunda Sambhuta. Shakti is always represented as goddess Durga. And one hint that has been given by author in this particular book is probably who believe in God, who have belief that God is the omnipotent, omnipresent, and he can do anything. If any person who is weak-minded and they don't have intelligence, that person, if at all they chant with this Lalita Mata fourth nama, Chidagnikunda sambhutaayai namaha, their mind will be enlightened. Etat sarvam palam Sri Sadguru Charana Arvindarpanamastu.